New York at night, the city glaring under hard neon and deep shadow, as Marvel promises a tale that could shake Spider-Man to his core. A grim warning hangs over the skyline, the end of Spider-Man, and tonight fear itself is stalking the streets. Why does the web-slinger cringe in helpless dread as the Sandman prowls through the urban darkness? The city holds its breath for a strange, high-stakes showdown, and every alleyway feels like a trap. Prepare for shocks, surprises, and a pulse-pounding ride through the concrete canyons of Manhattan. Because when the Sandman moves, even Spider-Man may not be able to stand his ground. New York at night, the city's neon glow fading into hard black shadows as a sensational headline screams across the page. The end of Spider-Man blares the paper, with J. Jonah Jameson crowing that the web-slinger fled in terror.
Forget everything you've ever read about Spider-Man before. This one is different. This one is a sensation.
Jameson's fury crackles through every word, determined to prove he was right all along about his so-called cowardly menace.
No one will ever laugh at J. Jonah Jameson again. I told them Spider-Man was a heel, a cowardly quitter.
And there it is in bold type. The Green Goblin has driven him to the edge, leaving the world to wonder what comes next. Credits blaze below the chaos, Stan Lee, Steve Ditko, and the rest, while the page hangs on one last bruising note. For now, the story closes on a hard-earned headline, but in the city that never sleeps, a hero's name is never buried for long. A short time ago, Spider-Man seemed to suffer his greatest defeat at the hands of the mysterious Green Goblin. Now, in New York at night, the city buzzes with shock as everyone reacts to the impossible.
I'm the first one to make Spider-Man run away like a whipped dog. At last, the Green Goblin will be world famous. If only I could have been the one to defeat him. The victory should have belonged to Dr. Octopus.
Even though he lost, Spider-Man is still at large. That means Kraven the Hunter might still be able to track him down. How could the Green Goblin beat him when I, the Vulture, couldn't? I still can't believe it. Sure, Ben, we were always feuding, but I still had a lot of respect for Spidey if I hadn't seen him run away with my own eyes. Too bad about Spider-Man. It sort of puts all costumed crime fighters in a bad light. It appears his courage did not match his power. Wasps and spiders are natural enemies, so I can't honestly say I'm sorry for him. When last I met Spider-Man, my instincts told me he was a valiant fighter. How could the super sharp senses of Daredevil have been so wrong?
Even the average man in the street can't stop talking about it. The battle between Spider-Man and the Green Goblin has become the #1 topic in all of New York.
I still don't see why he ran away. It looked to me like Spidey was winning.
J. Jonah Jameson was right all the time. Spider-Man was just a coward, like all bullies.
Apparently Jameson was smarter than we thought.
And the gloating publisher of the Daily Bugle wastes no time turning the city's panic into a victory parade.
Now that the decent people of our city have gotten wise to Spider-Man, he hasn't been seen for weeks. At last, we're rid of that masked menace. And remember, the Daily Bugle was the first to expose him as a dangerous fraud.
New York at night hangs heavy in the distance, but inside a quiet apartment, the real battle is far more fragile. The world wonders what has happened to Spider-Man if only they could see Peter Parker now.
You shouldn't have gotten out of bed, Aunt May. The doctor said you need lots of rest after your operation.
But I wanted to make sure you eat a good breakfast before you go to school, Peter.
Gosh, if only you'd stop worrying about me so. Anyway, you know, Mrs. Watkins will be here to help you out and, oh, here she is now.
Off to school with you now, Peter. I'll do the dishes. Well, don't you look improved, May? Thank you, Anna. It's so nice of you to come over. Now remember, take your medicine every 4 hours, have a nap at noon, and don't tire yourself out.
By afternoon, Peter's smile hides a crushing fear. At school, the bills and medicine keep piling up, and he knows Aunt May can never learn how close to the edge they really are.
I can't tell Aunt May, but we're almost out of money, and she still needs so much medicine. I can't fail her after everything she's done for me.
When the school day finally ends, Peter bolts into the city streets, racing home with desperation burning in his chest. New York rushes past in a blur of sidewalks and sirens.
I've got to make sure Aunt May's all right and figure out where to get the money.
I'm home, Peter, and I'm perfectly fine, dear. Yes, Peter. Your aunt felt a bit dizzy, so I thought I'd stay a while longer.
Oh, you're still here, Mrs. Watkins.
Now don't worry, Anna. I'm perfectly fine. But you look a bit peaked to me, dear. Have you been studying too hard?
We're almost out of medicine again. I've just got to get some money somewhere. Okay, Aunt May, time for your medicine, and then you've got to go to bed.
Very well, Peter. I am feeling rather tired. You may shut the TV off now.
New York hums under the evening lights, but Peter Parker's world is weighed down by worry as Aunt May recovers from a serious operation. Still, the city hasn't forgotten Spider-Man, and Flash Thompson, of all people, is one true believer in the web-slinger.
I tell you, if Spider-Man ran away from the Green Goblin, he had a good reason.
Say that again and I'll paste you one.
Oh, hello, Peter. How is your aunt?
A little better, I guess, Liz.
By the way, there's a new Peter Sellers movie at the drive-in tonight. I've been dying to see it.
But Peter's mind is already racing for another plan, a way to earn some money fast. After school, a masked figure rockets through the sky toward Midtown, the city stretching out below like a field of fire.
This is the place, Ace Picture Co. Are you the ones who make those kids trading cards with pictures of sports stars and actors on them?
Yeah, who wants to know?
Oh, Spider-Man.
New York at night hums with neon and danger, and high above the street, a cocky kid in a mask tries to sell himself.
This is your big chance, fella. How much is it worth to you to make trading cards with my picture on them? I'll give you an exclusive contract.
Sorry, we're not interested.
Are you kidding? You're talking to Spider-Man. I'm the real thing. Just think of the photos you could get of me.
Look, young fella, face it, you're washed up. A has-been, I couldn't give any pictures of you away. Now, blow, huh? I'm busy.
Bittersweet and boiling with pride, the masked teen storms out in a huff, only to catch movement nearby, trouble on a rooftop.
But just imagine how the kids would eat up a picture of me doing this. Or how about something like this?
A short distance away, a gang gathers on the roof of a jewelry store, and Spider-Man's instincts kick in.
Bejeweled or not, it's a cinch they are not there to see the sights.
New York at night crackles with danger as Spider-Man spots a jewelry store caper unfolding below.
I'll break up that little caper easy as pie and then, oh no, I can't. I forgot, if anything happened to me, who'd look after poor Aunt May? I just can't afford to take the chance.
For once, the web-slinger does the most unusual thing of all. He turns and runs from the thieves.
This may not be in the best superhero tradition, but I haven't any choice. Anyway, I'm glad I have some change with me.
Seconds later, a desperate call goes out to the police, while the stolen glass glint of the city still lingers in Spider-Man's mind.
Hello, police. I'd like to report a crime. Some men are trying to break into a jewelry store at the corner of 47th Street. No, I'd rather not mention my name. I'm just a private citizen trying to do his duty.
That's okay, you're welcome.
He hurries home, hoping Aunt May needs nothing more than his smile, but in this city, peace never lasts long.
Doc, what are you doing here? Is anything wrong? Where's Aunt May?
It's all right, Peter. I was just passing by, so I thought I'd drop in. Your aunt seems to be holding her own, but you'd better try to take it easy, son. Just see that she keeps taking her medicine, and I'll come by again tomorrow.
I'm glad you're home early, dear. How was school today?
But behind Peter's forced smile, a private panic churns. The medicine is costly, and the family's savings are nearly gone. New York hums with late-day noise, but inside the Parker apartment, the air is all warmth and worry as Peter tries to keep life moving.
Everything's fine at school, Aunt May. Here, I'll put on the TV for you. Thank you, dear. Now you'd better do your homework before it gets too late.
Alone in his room, Peter's smile fades as he dials with nervous hope, chasing an answer he's afraid to hear.
I've got to find out if Betty is still mad at me for going to that club meeting without her. Hi, Betty, this is Pete. Wait, don't hang up, Betty.
The nerve of him, calling me as though nothing had happened.
W is that Peter Parker. I feel so good these days I even like him.
Where's he been keeping himself lately? His aunt is ill. She had a serious operation and he's had to look after her.
Then Jameson, all bluster and false charity, turns the whole room upside down with a grin that makes everyone uneasy.
Let's do something generous for them. Send her a get well card. But don't seal the envelope. You can send it for a penny cheaper that way.
Say you're not still mad at Parker, are you? You should learn to forgive and forget like I do. I wish he'd become his grouchy old self again. At least we understood him that way. Jameson beams at his employees, and the sight is so wrong that even the room seems to flinch. First time I ever saw him smile, it's a sickening sight. I almost wish Spider-Man would redeem himself or something. Otherwise, Jameson's liable to crack his face wide open with that phony smile of his. He reminds me of a tiger who's just made a kill. New York at night, the city humming below a lonely room where time drags by in heavy silence. Inside, Peter sits with the weight of the world on his shoulders.
She's resting now, poor Aunt May. She brought me up like I was her own son. I can't fail her now. I've got to take care of her till she's well again. But it gets so lonely sometimes. If only Betty weren't mad at me, I'll call her again. No answer. Can she be out with another fella? Or is she ignoring me because she thinks it's me?
And somewhere else, the same doubt burns in Betty's heart. Neither of them can cross the distance between them.
It must be Pete. I know it. But I don't trust myself to speak to him. I might listen to my heart and make up with him, but I couldn't bear to be hurt again.
Peter sinks deeper into thought, and the lonely room fades away. His mind leaps back to battles survived and enemies defeated.
I wonder how Betty would feel if she knew I was Spider-Man. I'm the one who's risked his life so often to save her. I can outlast him in this airless room because of my extra strong lungs.
He remembers the Sandman's crushing assault and the brutal fight where only Spider-Man's gift for endurance kept him alive. Then another memory slashes in, Kraven the Hunter, savage and relentless. Danger after danger, Peter has fought through the impossible. But in the shadows of the city, one more threat still waits, ready to strike with a venomous promise.
Spider-Man, if I ever get my hands on you.
New York at night, the city glowing beneath a tense, electric sky. In Spider-Man's mind, every rooftop hides a memory of a near-fatal mistake.
The Vulture came so close to ending me. One careless swoop, one bad angle, and it would have been bye-bye, Spidey.
Then there was Dr. Octopus in that giant glass fishbowl of his. All he had to do was let me drown. But he got greedy and came after me.
That's the trick, snare him with the webbing fast and hard.
Those were the close calls everyone saw, but nobody knew how dangerous this life really was, or how much it cost Peter Parker.
Betty's furious at Peter Parker, and the whole world thinks Spider-Man's a coward because I ran from the Goblin.
He never got to explain about Aunt May being ill, or why he had to be there when it mattered most. Even victory could leave scars no one else could see. The next day, outside the Daily Bugle, the pressure only tightened. One wrong word, one wrong glance, and Betty Brant was already walking away.
You said you weren't going to that club meeting. Then I found you there with Liz Allen. Nothing you can say will change that.
Betty, wait, please. I've got to talk to you.
It's too late, Peter. We have nothing more to discuss.
And just when it seemed the day couldn't get worse, Parker turned and found another problem waiting on the sidewalk. New York at night hums with restless energy, but Peter Parker's world feels heavier than the city itself. In the Daily Bugle, one sharp-tongued boss is about to make his mood everybody else's problem.
Have you any good news photos for me? You haven't sold me any lately.
Sorry, Mr. Jameson. I've been too busy looking after my aunt, but maybe later on.
Sure, kid, sure, anytime. Just don't bring me any more of Spider-Man. He's finished with the public now, heh heh.
Yeah, ha ha to you too, old goat. By the way, thanks for the get well card you sent Aunt May. She appreciated it.
Think nothing of it, my boy. I guess I'm just all heart.
But even with the jokes, Peter's thoughts turn inward to Aunt May, to responsibility, to the messy heartbreak of being young. Later at school, the pressure only grows as he struggles to focus. Then an idea flashes like lightning in the middle of the day. What if his webbing could make him money? The plan is wild, risky, and very, very Spider-Man.
Why didn't I think of this before? I ought to be able to sell my special quick-stick webbing for a fortune.
That same day, Peter brings the idea to life in the rough and tumble world of New York business. What starts as a pitch becomes a performance, and the room holds its breath.
It's Spider-Man. Don't be alarmed, gents. I have a business deal to offer you. You must have heard about my famous exclusive webbing. Look, I'll give you a demonstration. This is most irregular, but we seem to be a captive audience. Watch how I can make one thin strand stick to the ceiling. And now, notice the unbelievably heavy weight that one strand will support.
The impossible answer comes in a single stunning moment. Spider-Man lifts a cast iron block like it weighs nothing at all. And in a city like New York, that kind of power always draws a dangerous crowd. New York at night, the city buzzing below as a desperate inventor pitches a miracle paste to a pair of greedy men.
How about it, men? Imagine if you could sell paste that was this strong.
I can hardly believe my eyes. He's right, such a paste would make us a fortune on the open market.
But minutes later, the dream collapses, the adhesive fails, the deal turns bitter, and in a lonely lab somewhere in the city, frustration boils over.
What happened? Oh, don't worry about this. It just snapped. I made it so it won't hold too long.
But it isn't permanent, we can't use it.
Wait, perhaps I can make it permanent. I ought to be able to figure out a formula.
Fine, when you do, come back to see us. Until then, your paste is worthless.
Rejected, exhausted, and trapped by his own unfinished invention, the hero's mind races back to the webbing he created, powerful but temporary. Then, in the worst possible moment, the knight answers back.
Nuts, I struck out again. I forgot that my sticky webbing eventually evaporates. I could make it permanent, but it might take months of lab work, and I haven't the time. Anyway, at least things can't get any worse.
Well, looks like this is my lucky day. I've been waiting for a chance to polish you off once and for all.
The Sandman emerges from the shadows, all menace and grit, and Spider-Man realizes the cruel truth. If he falls here, Aunt May will be left all alone.
The Sandman, I don't dare battle him now. I'm not worried for myself. But if I lose, Aunt May will be alone in the world with no one to look after her. Hold it, this isn't the time or the place.
New York at night, neon bleeding across wet pavement as a tense crowd closes in. Spider-Man hangs in the balance, cornered by harsh words and harsher doubts.
So it's true what they're saying about you. You turned yellow.
You fought me before. You know that isn't true. I've just got my reasons for not wanting to mix it up with you now.
He wants to leap in to snap back with a joke and a web line, but something deeper holds him back. Aunt May is sick, helpless, and every second of reckless glory could cost him everything.
I'd love to turn and face him, but nothing is ever certain. He might beat me.
Sure you do, and they all add up to one thing. You're a coward.
And I can't take the chance. Not while Aunt May is ill and helpless. I owe it to her to avoid any trouble.
The taunts swell louder, spreading through the street like wildfire. To the crowd, Spider-Man looks like he's running, and in New York, that kind of judgment hits harder than any punch.
Look, there's Spider-Man at last, and he's running from Sandman, just the way he ran from the Green Goblin. Jameson was right, you're scared, Spider-Man. You're afraid of your own shadow.
The insults pile up, one after another, until the whole city seems ready to believe the worst. Spider-Man stands alone under the glaring lights, and the doubt around him feels more dangerous than any villain. New York blazes below in a blur of rooftops and danger. Spider-Man has to stay ahead of Sandman because one wrong move means getting crushed.
It's a lucky thing I'm faster than Sandman. I couldn't keep dodging those sledgehammer blows forever.
Run, chicken, I'll catch up with you sooner or later, and when I do.
But the city is already talking. Somewhere below Jonah Jameson gloats as Spider-Man's reputation takes another hit.
Oh, what a lovely sight. Oh, what a heartwarming episode. Did you see Spider-Man, revealed in all his delicious cowardice?
You sure called the turn on him in your editorials, Mr. Jameson. I'll bet you he won't have the nerve to show himself in public after this. That crumb bum's had it.
Spider-Man slips away through the city, but his victory is hollow. Even as danger fades, a deeper fear is closing in at home.
Looks like he gave me the slip, and I better go into hiding too, before the police come after me. Phew, that was a close call. I'd better change identities fast, before I get into a fix I can't get out of.
A few blocks later, the mask comes off and the burden remains. Peter Parker hurries home, but the night isn't done with him yet.
Hey, punk, did you see that spineless Spider-Man run past here? And no, I didn't. He must have gone in the other direction.
Finally, a sad-faced teenager reaches home, only to find the real trouble waiting inside. Aunt May is alone again, and Peter's heart sinks.
How come you're alone, Aunt May? The doctor said you should always have someone with you. But Mrs. Watkins had to leave, dear. Her niece is away and she had to cook dinner for her husband. Besides, I thought you'd be home sooner.
Peter's mind races with guilt and fear. Every spider-chasing thrill feels smaller than the fragile life depending on him.
This is what I've been afraid of. I can't take the chance of Aunt May being alone, in case she has another attack. This is why I can't afford to fight as Spider-Man.
Inside the Parker home, the ordinary worries cut deeper than any villain's blow. And as the medicine runs low, Peter realizes the hardest battle is still ahead.
Gosh, we're almost out of medicine. It's a shame that Mrs. Watkins' niece is out of town, dear. She could come and visit us. It must be so boring for you, spending so much time with me.
Boredom. I wish that was the only problem I had.
New York at night feels colder under the glare of the television cameras, and every minute makes Spider-Man's world look a little darker.
And now we present a videotape rerun of this afternoon's top news story, the frightened flight of Spider-Man while the city watched in shock. As a special attraction, let's watch that same scene in slow motion, sponsored by the Daily Bugle, the paper that tells the truth.
Now the whole city, probably the whole world, thinks I'm nothing but a discredited coward, and as long as Aunt May remains seriously ill, there's nothing I can do about it.
That's it, I can't take any more of that grinning ape. I'd rather watch Dr. Doom reading nursery rhymes to the kiddies. I tell you, Benjamin, there's more to all this than meets the eye. I just know Spidey isn't a coward. I'm inclined to agree with you, Johnny. People don't change their basic nature without good cause.
Flame on.
A blazing figure shatters the window and rockets into the night like a crimson meteor. While inside the room, one question hangs in the air. Why would Spider-Man run? New York hums with restless energy, and even in the middle of the day, secrets seem to crackle in the air.
What do you think that impetuous kid brother of mine is up to now? It's hard to say, Sue. I'd guess he's going to try to find the reason for Spider-Man's strange behavior. Teenagers who can figure M out.
Moments later, a blazing message tears across the sky above the city, a call from the Human Torch, impossible to ignore.
Spider-Man, meet me at our last meeting place. A message from the Human Torch, but I can't go. I don't dare leave Aunt May alone again.
Later, high atop the Statue of Liberty, the torch keeps a lonely vigil as the night stretches on.
This is the spot. Spidey is sure to see my flaming message sooner or later.
All through the night, he waits in the cold glow of dawn, but Spider-Man never comes.
If he didn't come by now, he's just not coming. But why? Even if he didn't see my message, he must have heard about it. It was sure to be mentioned in the papers or on radio and TV. Why didn't he come? Has something really changed him?
And at school, the rumors hit hard. but one die-hard fan refuses to let Spider-Man fall.
I can't believe it. Even you can't still be a fan of Spider-Man. You're darn right I still am. I say he's got a reason for the way he's acting. He'll surprise you all pretty soon.
Pete, you're the smartest boy in school. Do you believe Flash might be right?
You can never tell, Liz, he might be.
Later that night in New York, the city glows and broods beneath a velvet sky, while trouble stirs in the shadows.
Liz, what brings you here? What's wrong?
Oh, Pete, I'm so worried. It's that foolish Flash. I'm afraid he'll be hurt.
She explains Flash's wild plan to dress as Spider-Man and prowl the streets, hoping the real hero will come to his rescue. Peter reels at the recklessness of it all.
That nut, Spider-Man, has enemies all over the place. It's my fault. I kept teasing him about Spider-Man.
Maybe I can find him and talk him out of it. But I can't leave my aunt alone. Will you stay with her, Liz? Of course, Petey.
And so Peter slips away into the night, praying his spider sense finds that well-meaning knucklehead before one of his enemies mistakes him for the real wall crawler. Meanwhile, Flash steps into the city's neon glare, certain he can prove a point.
They all think Spidey is washed up, huh? I'll prove he's as brave as ever. Maybe I can even stop a crime and get the credit. Wouldn't that be something?
A short time later, his gamble pays off in the worst possible way as two car thieves spot him and mistake him for Spider-Man.
What the it's Spider-Man, how do you find us? We're 3-1, what can we lose? Let's rush him.
Okay, turn around and march to the police station, if you don't want me to drag you there.
He tries to sell the bluff with bravado, but in the alley's cold steel and shadow maze, one wrong move could turn Flash's prank into disaster. New York at night hums with danger, and somewhere in the city's shadowed canyons, Spider-Man has walked straight into a trap.
Oh, I didn't expect this. Now I'm in for it. But so what? They've got no superpowers. Maybe I can still outfight them.
How hit me and I'm still conscious?
Hit me? One ordinary punch knocked the wind out of him.
No wonder Spider-Man's been turning chicken lately. He must have lost all his power somehow. What a break for us, we'll be famous as the guys who beat Spider-Man.
Hey, stop, no fair, one at a time, fellas. One at a time.
I never thought it would be so easy. Maybe we ought to tackle Daredevil next.
3 against 1. Big deal. I'll bet I could lick any of you single-handed.
You know something, you don't even sound like Spider-Man. I wonder if... Aw, he must be the real McCoy. Nobody would be nutty enough to impersonate a guy like him.
And at that moment, Spider-Man senses trouble closing in from around the corner. He's fighting and losing. The poor guy doesn't even have time to change before the next blow lands.
I'd better not even stop to change. Every second may count.
But for once, the web-slinger gets a stroke of luck as another pair of eyes catches the brawl ahead.
Look, Irv, a street fight up ahead, 3 against 1. How cowardly can they be? Let's break it up.
New York at night crackles with danger as Spider-Man's shadowy battle spills into a car lot. A desperate plan is about to go horribly right.
Well, Rocky Roberts and his 2 little car-stealing partners. We've been looking for you boys. Say, Irv, look who they were fighting. It's Spider-Man. Or is it? He looks kinda pooped out to me.
Did it work? Did Spidey come and save me? What happened? Where are the 3 car thieves? It's Flash Thompson. I've seen you play on the school football team. I don't know what you're doing in that monkey suit, son. But from now on, I'd advise you to leave crime fighting to the law. I wanted to prove that the real Spidey isn't a coward. I thought he'd show up and help me. You're a brave kid, Flash, but you're way out of your league. Come on, we'll drive you home.
That was a close one. Peter realizes just how badly that gamble could have blown his secret sky high. The next day at school, he's determined to set Flash straight before the kid gets himself killed. But Flash isn't in the mood to listen.
Oh, it's you, huh? Well, go ahead, puny Parker gloat. Tell me I made a fool of myself. Hey, cool off. That's not what I wanted to say.
And just like that, the argument lands like a right hook, leaving Peter with a black eye and a much bigger problem. New York at night hums with neon and traffic, but for Peter Parker, the noise has turned to pain. On the street, tempers flare, and every corner feels like another bad break closing in.
Stay out of my way, Parker. I don't need any sympathy from a nobody like you.
I wasn't trying to.
I almost beat those 3 crooks single-handed. And maybe I would have if the police hadn't shown up. That's not the way I heard it, chum. What a guy. He won't let me be nice to him even if I try.
Peter swallows the sting and lets Flash storm off, while Liz quietly warns him to keep his distance. But beneath the surface, the trouble is only getting deeper.
Better stay away from Flash for a while, Petey. He's sensitive about what happened. He's even mad at me because I told you about it.
Don't worry about me, Liz. Staying away from Flash is the easiest thing I can do. I've had a lot of practice.
Peter's smile fades fast. Aunt May needs medicine, his wallet is empty, and even Betty Brant has no time for him, or so it seems.
Things are getting worse. Aunt May will need more medicine by tomorrow, and I'm still broke. Nobody but Flash has any use for Spider-Man anymore. And to top it off, Betty Brant won't give me a tumble. Where do I go from here?
Are you the wise guy who said that even puny Parker could lick Spider-Man? Well, are you?
And no, Flash, I never said it honest.
Flash fumes and Peter can only watch as another cruel little disaster unfolds. Then, like a punch to the heart, he spots Betty and she isn't alone.
Poor Flash, he hasn't been right about anything in years. How I'd like to tell him that, hey. There's Betty with another boy. Look how she's holding his arm and how happy they seem.
Did you like the movie, Betty? Oh yes, I just couldn't stop laughing.
It's still early. How about a soda before I take you home?
That's the best offer I've had in weeks, kind sir.
Peter stands frozen as the city keeps moving without him. In that moment, every problem in his life crashes together and he blames the mask.
Face it, boy, you've lost her. How did this all happen? Everything seems to be tumbling down around my ears. All my problems, all my tough breaks, are due to being Spider-Man. If I were just an ordinary Joe, Betty would still be my girl, and all the other worries I've got would just melt away.
With the night closing in, Peter's heart sinks under the weight of his double life, and somewhere ahead, the next turn of fate is already waiting. Finally, the weary youth reaches home, and New York's restless night gives way to a fragile hush.
You're looking better, Aunt May. How do you feel? I feel better, dear. I think I must be getting stronger.
Inside that small apartment, a vow is born. Peter Parker decides to bury the Spider-Man life and become the kind of man Aunt May deserves.
My mind's made up. When Aunt May recovers, I'll be the kind of guy she wants me to be. I'll forget about this Spider-Man jazz. I'll concentrate on my schoolwork, get a good job, perhaps in a lab somewhere, and settle down like everyone else. I should have done this long ago, but I was too conceited. I enjoyed being Spider-Man. It made me feel like something special. What a laugh that turned out to be.
The next morning, the silence in the apartment hits like a warning. Aunt May's wheelchair stands empty and panic explodes into the room.
Aunt May, where are you?
Right here, Peter. I thought I'd test my legs today.
But you shouldn't. The doctor said you were to take it easy all month.
Nonsense. I know when I'm feeling better. You don't want to make an invalid of me, do you?
Of course not, but sure, Aunt May, what is it?
New York hums outside, but inside the Parker apartment, the air is warm with hard-won hope. Aunt May's voice is steady now, stronger than Peter has heard in days.
Even though I'm an old woman, I'm not a quitter. A person needs gumption, the will to live, to fight. You mustn't worry about me so much, Peter dear. We Parkers are tougher than people think.
I heard that, young lady, and I couldn't agree more. You certainly sound chipper today.
I'm feeling much better, Doctor. I feel like a spry young 60-year-old.
And I've good news for you. You won't have to take any more medicine from now on.
That's wonderful. We just used up the last of it.
Later, after another examination, Peter waits for the verdict with his heart in his throat. The answer comes, and it's a relief he can almost feel lifting the whole room.
Is she really getting better, Doc? Let me have it straight.
She certainly is, Peter. She's doing fine for a woman her age. Your aunt has a lot of spirit, son. You should be very proud of her.
The weight on Peter's shoulders finally eases, and Aunt May sends him away with a smile and a wave. He returns to his room lighter until a headline snaps his joy in half.
You needn't stay with me tonight, Peter. I'll be all right alone. I want to get used to looking after myself again.
Gee, I'm sure glad to hear you sounding so chipper at last, Aunt May.
But in Peter's room, the Daily Bugle waits like a punch to the gut, splashed with another attack on Spider-Man. And as the insults sting, something inside Peter begins to harden.
Another story about Spider-Man in J. Jonah Jameson's scandal sheet. Now he's calling me the biggest phony since the Cardiff Giant. Well, maybe he's right. Maybe it took Aunt May to teach me something I should have known. Only a weakling quits when the going gets tough. Sure, I've had my share of bad breaks, but I've been wasting too much time in self-pity. I'm done with that from now on.
New York at night hums below as one hero stands alone in the glow of destiny.
Now there's nothing to stop me from being Spider-Man again.
Aunt May's steady strength fills his thoughts, and even Jameson's sneers can't touch him here.
As for Jay, Jonah Jameson, before I'm through, he'll be eating his words about me.
He feels the pulse of power in his blood, a gift, a burden, and a calling all at once.
Fate gave me some terrific superpowers, and I realize now that it's my duty to use them. Without doubt, without hesitation.
With the city spread out beneath him, the decision hardens into action.
Spider-Man is going into action again. I'll fight as I've never fought before.
No force can hold him back now because at last, he knows exactly who he is.
I was born to be Spider-Man.